Welcome back to Guess What Day It Is. Today is Light Bulb Day. So today we're going to learn how to change a light bulb. We're going to talk about the different types of light bulbs and help you pick the right one for your application and how to actually take it out and reinstall it. So let's get to it. So we've got a bunch of different types of light bulbs here on the bench. We're going to go through some of this to help you understand the differences and pick out the right bulb for you. So I think we're all kind of familiar with the basic size and dimensions of a standard light bulb. They are actually noted on the packaging. So this would be an A19. These, which are for a ceiling fan, are an A15. So that's very helpful when you go to pick out your light bulbs. There's also different bases that you have to kind of keep an eye out for. So the standard bulb size that we're used to would be this guy. This is an E26. Basically, it's 26 millimeters, from what I understand, just a little bit over an inch in its base diameter, which screws into, this is just a plug-in adapter, but most screw-in bases kind of have that kind of a design. So basically, screw it in, just like so. What happens once you screw it in, there's a base which makes contact with that tab that's in the bottom there, if you can see it. And then the threads are also a point of contact as well. So the current basically goes through the bulb, through the base and the threads. So that's how it makes its electric contact. So once again, they thread in just like so. Now obviously there's other types of bulbs like fluorescent tubes, which we're not going to get into today. So another somewhat common size is this size, much different. This is an E12, which is a 12 millimeter base. Same thing. We've got contact tabs in the base and on the sides. So this is basically a candelabra style light. This is actually from a ceiling fan that we have. But picture Christmas lights or something like that would have a very similar base to that. Another base that you may see for like a night light would be an E10, which would be 10 millimeters. Once again, just a little bit smaller than that. So light bulbs have kind of evolved over the last 100 years. The very first light bulbs were incandescent type. So this is a glass bulb, which is pulled into a vacuum. So inside that glass bulb is a filament, which is attached to the base and to the threads. Current passes through that filament, which is basically a wire that glows white hot, which gives us the light. So the fact that this bulb is pulled into a vacuum keeps that wire from melting. Eventually, when most light bulbs fail, it's because that filament fatigues and breaks and doesn't make contact anymore, which means you have to replace the bulb. So very effective, very easy to produce, very cheap, but not very good when it comes to an efficiency standpoint. These bulbs get quite hot, so a lot of that energy is lost in heat. So about 20 years ago or so, and even a little longer than that, compact fluorescent light bulbs came out. A compact fluorescent bulb basically takes a fluorescent tube and twists it into a similar package so that you could fit it into a lamp or whatever that you would need. Compact fluorescent lights were significantly more efficient than an incandescent bulb by quite a bit. So to produce 800 lumens, it takes approximately 60 watts in an incandescent bulb. And watts is just a measurement of electrical power. So it's for a compact fluorescent bulb to produce the same 800 lumens, it takes about 14 watts. So big improvement going from incandescent to compact fluorescent. They lasted quite a bit longer. They still produce a fair amount of heat, but not near as much as an incandescent bulb. And one drawback of a fluorescent type bulb is it has mercury gas in it. So if you were to drop it, you have that toxic mercury gas that you have to worry about. So disposing of compact fluorescents is a big deal. And they do cost quite a bit to produce as well. So over the last 10 years, LED light bulbs have kind of taken the reins from that. So an LED bulb is LED stands for light emitting diode. So a diode is an electric component that allows current to flow one direction. And depending on what that diode is made of, they can glow or produce light. And inside one of the LED light bulbs is several light emitting diodes that are kind of made in a circle or some kind of configuration to make the light kind of shine in all directions. A little cheaper to produce, not near as dangerous because there's no mercury gas or anything to worry about, and still more efficient yet. So to produce 800 lumens with a average LED bulb, you're going to use about 8 to 9 watts of energy on that. So once again, not quite as much of a difference between an incandescent and a compact fluorescent, going to the compact fluorescent to the LED, but still more savings. And they do last a significant amount longer as well. So another drawback of the compact fluorescent is it really didn't fit in the same package, and a lot of lamp designs do not allow for a compact flash or fluorescent to really fit in there. Also, if you have something decorative, you don't want this curly Q looking thing kind of sitting there either. So I got a couple different options here. So obviously we have different base sizes. We have different brightnesses. So 45 watts is a common brightness. 60 watts is probably the most common that you would use in most type fixtures. And once again, that's all kind of a carryover from incandescent. So if we go and look for a 60 watt bulb in an LED, it's a 60 watt equivalent. So basically we're looking for an 800 lumen bulb, but since we've always measured that output for 100 years or so in wattage, we continue to do that as we go forward on that. So these two bulbs are both 60 watts or 800 lumens. There's a couple differences between these two. This one is designed to be used inside or outside. I use these for our light fixtures that are on the outside of the house. They are not dimmable, which makes them cheaper. So there are some light switches that have a dimmer inside of them that allows you to kind of control the brightness of the bulb. You can use these in that application, but if you try to dim it, you're not going to get that functionality. It could kind of strobe or just not work at all once it gets to a certain point. These are indoor only, but they're auto dimming, and they are actually a glass housing. So these emulate a incandescent bulb much better than this one. This one is all plastic. It's got a kind of a goofy plastic base. So outside it doesn't really matter, but in some of the fixtures that we have at the house, I prefer to have something like this. So we also have something like this, which is a floodlight. So There's a lot of different type of can lights and things that are spotlights, or once again, same base, probably the same type of guts as one of these guys, but just in a different kind of form. So once again, these bulbs are all emulating the old incandescent bulbs. This may have been a halogen bulb in its original form, which is another that would have a halogen gas inside of it instead of having a vacuum. They're also more efficient than an incandescent bulb, but still not near as efficient as an LED. So another thing to take into consideration is the warmth or the temperature of the light. So we've got everything from something that would be like daylight, which is a very white, bright light. And then we have some that would be more on the warm side. So if you think of a warmer bulb being more yellowish, probably not as hard on the eyes. If you get more to the daylight, you get more pure white coming out that light bulb too. So that really boils down to personal preference. So do you want it to be bright white? I prefer that, like in the bathroom. So as you, if you're, not me putting on makeup or anything like that, but trying to see what you look like for real, so you can get ready in the morning, that's a good way to do it, to have that bright. But if you want something warm to give you a little bit better ambiance in your living room, you want to go more on the warm side for that. So, so that's kind of the basics of it. There are some new light bulbs that are smart light bulbs, where they can tie into your smart home system. A lot of LEDs are capable of changing colors, which is pretty cool, especially around the holidays. Or if you have some lighting, if you do YouTube videos or something like that, you can really kind of have some cool ambiance in the back and all that. So technology has brought a lot of pretty cool stuff when it comes to lighting. So that's the basics on light bulbs. Once again, the best way to do it is to take your light bulb with you to the hardware store, because most light bulbs have a lot of information on them. So you can match up the size, you can match up the base, you can match up the wattage or lumens, and then you can kind of pick if you want it to be warm or bright and kind of go from there. Most light fixtures allow you easy access to the light bulb, as you can see in this fan. You don't need to shut the power off, you just need to have the light off. Really, there's no chance of getting shocked unless you put something conductive like your finger in the light socket, so no need to worry about any kind of shock. So turn the bulb to the left to unscrew. Take your new bulb, righty-tighty. When you're all done, flip the switch to make sure it works. In order to get to the bulbs in a fixture like this is a nut that you have to unscrew. Support the glass, left to unscrew. The glass can be sort of heavy, so be mindful of that. Once you get that off, just take it off. Now you just have light bulbs that you unscrew. Lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. Light bulbs should be cool, especially if they don't light. If you're replacing bulbs that have been on, just leave the fixture off for about 5 to 10 minutes and they should be cool to touch. If they're not cool to touch, just let them cool off. Grab the new bulbs, righty-tighty. just snug. You don't want to get them too tight, or else you'll get them wedged in, and when you have to go to replace them again, you'll have a hard time getting them out. Just snug. So now that you have them installed, it's a good opportunity to make sure that they work. Let me take our glass globe, standing on a proper step stool so I'm safe. There's a chance that this can become loose, which this one is firm. It's not a big deal if it gets loose. Put our decorative spacer back on. Start the nut. Get it threaded in a few times, and then you can center the glass shade so that it is right where it needs to be. Here's a different type of glass shade that has 3 set screws all around the globe. So you can see one here, and one here. All those grab onto this lip. So you don't want to over tighten it, because you can damage this quite easily. Once again, lefty loosey. Righty tighty. Just snug. Reinstall your glass shade. Screw each thumb screw down a little at a time until all 3 are making contact with the shade. Until it's nice and secure. Oh, huh. We're still here. I know. Mike, why in the world are you making a video about how to change a light bulb? Well, I did drop this video on April 1st as kind of an April Fool's joke. But I got to thinking, as I was kind of contemplating how to do this, a pretty disturbing stat that 20% of Gen Z does not know how to change a light bulb. You know, first reaction is like, that's ridiculous. How can that even happen? Second reaction is like, stupid kids, you know, kids today in general, you know, that's something that us old people say all the time. I'm Gen X, you know, I'm going to be in my 50s here very shortly. So I can't react that way. You know, if someone doesn't know how to do something, that might be their fault, but it most likely is my fault, either as a parent or the school system or just somewhere along the line, that person didn't get taught how to do it. So, you know, the basis of this channel is to help you, my viewers, tackle things and fix things. And, you know, sometimes tackling something is something kind of basic. So I thought maybe this video, even though was kind of started in a little bit of humor, might actually be a benefit to somebody. So, and that's really what I wish this channel would be, is something where I can use my knowledge or to learn something that I can pass on to you that you can take and enhance your life, either by saving yourself money, by doing your own repairs, or just developing a love for fixing things and making them better. So, and let's start at the basics when we do that too. So I think there might be a few more videos that are more basic as we go forward. So, if you know somebody that's that hasn't had the opportunity to learn how to change a light bulb, share this video with them. Maybe they learned something. Maybe you learned something too. You never know. I learn stuff minute by minute. I have not even scratched the surface of the amount of knowledge that's out there, and I love to expand my knowledge. So hopefully, as with any of these videos, you've learned something today. Hopefully, you might have laughed a little bit too. So, but I really appreciate you watching. Remember to hit subscribe, hit that like button, share this video with other people, and let me know what you think down in the comments. What kind of basic things do you think that maybe some of our younger generations haven't learned that we might want to help them with? So I look forward to reading your comments on that, and I look forward to seeing you next time on Guess What Day It Is.